Single dad took a homeless woman to his ex's wedding, and she stole the show. The moment Eliza stepped into the reception hall in her borrowed emerald dress, every head turned. No one could have guessed that just 3 weeks earlier, she'd been sleeping under a highway overpass. Least of all my ex-wife, whose perfect day was about to take an unexpected turn that would change all our lives forever. Hey everyone, if this is your first time on my channel, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible true stories that remind us how life's most beautiful moments often come from the most unexpected places. Your support means everything, and trust me, you'll want to stick around until the end of this one. My name is Daniel Mitchell, and 6 months ago, I was just a burnt-out single dad trying to navigate life after divorce while raising my 10-year-old daughter, Lily. The invitation to my ex-wife Catherine's wedding sat on my counter for weeks before I could bring myself to RSVP. Not because I still had feelings for her, that ship had sailed long ago, but because I couldn't bear the thought of showing up alone while she moved on with her perfect new life. The morning I met Eliza, I was running late for work. Lily had forgotten her science project, and I had to double back to our apartment to grab it. Taking a shortcut through Jefferson Park, I nearly tripped over a woman huddled on a bench, her few possessions tucked neatly in a weathered backpack. "Sorry," I mumbled, barely looking up. "No worries," she replied with a warmth that made me pause. "Beautiful day, isn't it?" Something in her voice, the genuine optimism despite her circumstances, made me stop. She was probably in her early 30s, with intelligent eyes that seemed to hold both profound sadness and surprising hope. Her clothes were clean but worn thin, her hair pulled back in a practical ponytail. "I'm running late, but, would you like a coffee?" I found myself asking. She hesitated, pride briefly flashing across her face before she nodded. "I'm Eliza." "Daniel," I replied, and that 5-minute coffee exchange turned into 20 minutes of the most honest conversation I'd had in months. Eliza had been a kindergarten teacher before a perfect storm of medical bills, a landlord selling her building, and a brutal job market had left her homeless 3 months earlier. She wasn't looking for pity, just a temporary connection over coffee before continuing her daily routine of job applications at the library and checking in at shelters. I left her my card, a gesture that felt simultaneously too little and too presumptuous. "If you need anything," I said awkwardly. 2 days later, she called. Not for herself, but because she'd found a lost child at the park and remembered I mentioned working with social services. After we reunited the child with his frantic mother, I offered Eliza dinner as thanks. Over cheap burgers, I learned she had a degree in early childhood education, played the violin, and could name every constellation in the night sky. When Lily joined us, they bonded instantly over a shared love of astronomy and terrible puns. "Dad, can Eliza come over sometime and help me with my science project?" Lily asked, eyes bright with the unfiltered enthusiasm only children possess. Before I could formulate a response that wouldn't put Eliza on the spot, she smiled. "I'd love to, if your dad's okay with it." That weekend, Eliza helped Lily build a model of the solar system that put my pathetic attempts to shame. Watching them together, Eliza patiently explaining planetary orbits while Lily absorbed every word, I felt something shift inside me. Our apartment, which had felt hollow since Catherine left, suddenly seemed warmer. "She's really special," my sister Rachel commented after meeting Eliza during one of these impromptu science lessons. "Where did you find her again?" I hesitated, unsure how to explain that the woman transforming my daughter's understanding of the universe had nowhere to sleep that night. "She's between places right now," I said carefully. Rachel raised an eyebrow. And nothing. "We're friends. She helps Lily with homework sometimes." "Daniel," Rachel sighed with the exasperation only a sister can perfect, "when are you going to stop pretending you're not falling for her?" I dismissed Rachel's comment, but that night, after Eliza left for the shelter, I couldn't sleep. Not just because I was worried about her safety, but because I couldn't stop thinking about her laugh, the way she explained complex concepts to Lily with such clarity, how she never complained despite having every right to. The next morning, I made a decision that my ex-wife would have called impulsive and irresponsible. I called Eliza and offered her our spare room, temporarily, of course, until she found her footing. "I can't accept charity," she said immediately. "It's not charity. It's a fair exchange. You help Lily with homework, maybe cook occasionally since I'm terrible at it, and you get a safe place to sleep and shower while you job hunt." After much convincing, she agreed to a 2-week trial. Those 2 weeks stretched into a month as Eliza became an integral part of our little household. She found part-time work at a local bookstore, insisted on contributing to groceries, and transformed our bland meals into simple but delicious dinners. Lily's grades improved, and for the first time since the divorce, I felt like we were thriving rather than just surviving. Then came the wedding invitation reminder call from Catherine. "You are coming, right, Daniel? And bringing Lily?" Her voice held that familiar tone, the one that suggested I might disappoint her yet again. "Of course," I assured her, though I'd been considering making an excuse. "With a +1?" she asked, a hint of curiosity breaking through her practiced politeness. "Just me and Lily," I replied automatically, then paused. The thought of facing Catherine's perfectly curated wedding alone suddenly seemed unbearable. "Actually, I might bring someone." After hanging up, I stared at the invitation. The wedding was in 3 weeks. Catherine had moved on with James, a successful architect who could give her everything I apparently couldn't. I should be happy for her, but all I felt was a gnawing inadequacy. That evening, as Eliza helped Lily with homework, I blurted out, "Would you come to my ex-wife's wedding with me?" Both Eliza and Lily looked up, equally surprised. "As friends," I added hastily. "It's just. I don't want to go alone, and you're good company, Anne." "Yes," Eliza interrupted my rambling. "But I don't have anything to wear to a wedding." "We can figure that out," I said, relief washing over me. Rachel, ever the problem solver, took Eliza shopping the following weekend. They returned with an emerald dress that Rachel insisted was a bargain from a consignment shop, though I suspected my sister had subsidized most of it. "You didn't have to do this," Eliza told Rachel, genuine gratitude in her voice. "Consider it payment for making my brother smile again," Rachel replied with a wink. The day of the wedding arrived with perfect weather that seemed to mock my nervousness. Lily looked adorable in her flower girl dress, Catherine had insisted on including her despite our split, and Eliza was breathtaking in her emerald dress, her hair styled in elegant waves. "You clean up nice," I managed, earning an eye roll from Lily. "Dad's trying to say you look beautiful," my daughter translated. Eliza laughed, the sound easing some of my tension. "You both look pretty great yourselves." The ceremony was held at an upscale vineyard, with white chairs arranged in perfect rows and floral arrangements that probably cost more than my monthly rent. Catherine was stunning in her designer gown, and James looked at her with genuine adoration. I was surprised to feel no jealousy, only a distant fondness and hope that she'd found what she needed. It was during the reception that everything changed. Catherine made her way to our table, her practiced smile firmly in place. "Daniel, I'm so glad you came," she said, then turned to Eliza with barely concealed curiosity. "And you must be Daniel's friend?" "Eliza," she replied with a warmth that seemed to momentarily disarm Catherine. "Congratulations on your beautiful wedding." The ceremony was moving. "Thank you," Catherine said, clearly trying to place Eliza. "Have we met before? You seem familiar." Eliza hesitated, and I saw the internal debate play across her face, whether to maintain a comfortable fiction or embrace her truth. "I don't think so," she said finally. "I would have remembered meeting you." Catherine nodded, still looking puzzled, before being called away by her mother. As she left, I squeezed Eliza's hand under the table. "You okay?" I asked. "I'm fine," she assured me. "But I think I should probably tell you something." Before she could continue, the DJ announced it was time for the father-daughter dance. After James and his daughter finished their dance, Catherine's father invited all fathers and daughters to join them. Lily looked at me expectantly. "Go," Eliza encouraged. "We'll talk later." Dancing with Lily, watching her twirl in her dress, I felt a surge of gratitude for this little person who had weathered so much change with such resilience. Over her head, I caught sight of Eliza watching us, her expression soft with something that made my heart skip. When the music shifted to a more upbeat song, Lily ran off to dance with her cousins, and I returned to find Eliza deep in conversation with Catherine's mother, Barbara. "Daniel!" Barbara exclaimed, her cheeks flushed from champagne. "Your friend here is absolutely delightful. Did you know she used to teach at Westridge Elementary?" I blinked in surprise. "No, I didn't." "That's where I thought I recognized her from," Catherine said, appearing beside her mother. "You were that teacher everyone raved about a few years ago. The one who started the music program for underprivileged kids." Eliza nodded, a faint blush coloring her cheeks. "That was me." "What happened?" Barbara asked with the directness of someone who's had one too many glasses of champagne. "Catherine tried to get Lily into your program, but they said you'd left." I watched Eliza take a deep breath. "Life happened. Medical bills, housing issues, it's a long story." Catherine's expression shifted from curiosity to something more complex. "Wait, aren't you working now? Daniel said you two met through." "We met at Jefferson Park," I interrupted, not wanting Eliza to feel cornered. "The details aren't important." But Eliza placed a gentle hand on my arm. "It's okay, Daniel." She turned to Catherine and Barbara. "The truth is, I've been experiencing homelessness for the past few months. Daniel and Lily have been kind enough to let me stay in their spare room while I get back on my feet." The silence that followed was deafening, even amid the reception noise. Barbara's mouth formed a perfect O of surprise, while Catherine stared at me with an expression I couldn't quite read. "I should probably get some air," Eliza said quietly, standing up. "I'll come with you," I offered, but she shook her head. "I'm fine. Stay with Lily." As Eliza walked away, Catherine sat down in the vacated chair. "Daniel Mitchell," she said slowly, "you never cease to surprise me." "It's not what you think," I started. "And what do I think?" she challenged. "That I'm being impulsive and irresponsible." Catherine's expression softened unexpectedly. "Actually, I was thinking it might be the most Daniel thing you've ever done." "What's that supposed to mean?" "You always had the biggest heart," she said, a hint of wistfulness in her voice. "It's one of the things I loved about you, even when it drove me crazy." Before I could respond, we were interrupted by a commotion near the stage. The wedding band's lead singer was talking animatedly with someone, Eliza. After a moment, he handed her his microphone and stepped back. "Excuse me, everyone," Eliza's voice rang out, causing conversations to halt. "I hope you'll forgive this interruption, but I wanted to offer a small gift to the bride and groom." My heart raced as Eliza whispered something to the band members, who nodded and readied their instruments. "Catherine and James," she continued, "I don't know you well, but today I've witnessed the love you share and the beautiful community that surrounds you. Music has always been my way of expressing gratitude, so if you'll allow me." The band began playing a gentle melody, and then Eliza began to sing. Her voice, clear and soulful, filled the reception hall with a rendition of "At Last" that brought immediate silence. It wasn't just that she could sing, though she did, beautifully, it was the raw emotion she poured into every note, transforming a classic love song into something deeply personal. I glanced at Catherine, whose eyes had filled with tears. Around us, guests sat transfixed, many recording the unexpected performance on their phones. Lily appeared at my side, her expression one of awe. "Dad," she whispered, "did you know Eliza could sing like that?" I shook my head, as mesmerized as everyone else. When the song ended, there was a moment of stunned silence before the room erupted in applause. James was the first to stand, followed quickly by Catherine and then the entire reception. Eliza blushed deeply, thanked the band, and tried to make her way back to our table, but was intercepted by guests wanting to compliment her. "She's remarkable," Catherine said beside me, genuine admiration in her voice. "Yes," I agreed, watching as Eliza graciously accepted compliments while trying to deflect attention. "She is." The rest of the reception passed in a blur. Eliza was pulled into conversations with various guests, including the wedding coordinator who apparently had connections at several schools with music program openings. I caught glimpses of her throughout the evening, laughing with Catherine's cousins, discussing music theory with James's father, even helping Lily and the other children organize an impromptu dance contest. It was nearly midnight when we finally left, Lily half asleep in the back seat and Eliza quiet beside me. "I'm sorry if I embarrassed you," she said finally, breaking the silence. "Embarrassed me?" I laughed. "Eliza, you were the highlight of the entire wedding. Catherine's mother told me at least 3 people asked if you were available for their events." "It was impulsive," she admitted. I wanted to give them something. After everything you and Lily have done for me, and seeing how gracious Catherine was despite clearly wondering what on earth you were doing bringing some random woman to her wedding." "You're not some random woman," I said, the words coming out more intensely than I'd intended. "And I'm pretty sure Catherine now thinks I've been hiding your talent all this time." Eliza smiled, then grew serious. "Daniel, I need to tell you something. That school coordinator who talked to me? She offered me an interview for a music teacher position. It's in Westridge, so I wouldn't have to move far, but it would mean I could finally afford my own place again." My heart did a strange little flip, joy for her opportunity mixed with an unexpected sadness at the thought of her leaving. "That's wonderful," I managed. "You deserve it." "There's something else," she continued, her voice softer. "Something I've been wanting to tell you for weeks but couldn't find the courage." I pulled into our apartment complex and turned off the engine, turning to face her. In the dim light from the street lamps, her eyes held a vulnerability that made my breath catch. "I'm falling in love with you," she said simply. "And it terrifies me because I have nothing to offer except complications and baggage." For a moment, I couldn't speak, overwhelmed by the emotions her words unleashed. Then, from the back seat, came Lily's voice. "Dad, if you don't kiss her right now, I'm going to be so mad at you." Eliza's eyes widened, and then we both burst into laughter. "How long have you been awake?" I asked my apparently not-so-sleeping daughter. "Long enough," Lily replied with the dramatic sigh of a preteen. "Are you going to kiss her or what?" Looking at Eliza, this extraordinary woman who had entered our lives by chance and transformed them through her resilience, kindness, and hidden talents, I knew there was only one answer. "With your permission," I said softly. Her answer was to lean forward and press her lips to mine in a kiss that felt like coming home. 6 months later, Eliza moved out of our spare room, and into the master bedroom. Her music program at Westridge Elementary became so successful that they expanded it to 3 other schools in the district. Catherine and James became unexpected friends, often joining us for dinner where the conversation flowed more easily than it ever had during our marriage. And last month, on the anniversary of the day we met at Jefferson Park, I asked Eliza to marry me. Lily helped me plan the proposal, insisting on fairy lights and a telescope pointed at Venus, the planet of love. "Dad,